Community Connections program today, and today I have some wonderful guests to join me here today. I'm going to look at the future here. I've got a young, very young guy here today with me. He's come along with his mother, and we thought we'd give him the Ramadan radio experience at this very early age. And your name is Rehan?
Yeah.
Welcome to Ramadan Radio. And our main chief guest here today is Helen Shaiba. Did I say it right?
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So Helen, we have worked together in the past on various projects, haven't we?
We have, yes.
In the community, and how important it is for us to all work together as a team. And Helen has worked in the community with us on various occasions across the city on different projects. And I will recall that when we were building the city retreat and we did some events there, and we had been supported by yourself at that time when you were doing your events management business. And how's that? Are you still doing that business?
Yes, alhamdulillah, that's our bread and butter, and it's still very busy for us all the time. So,
well, I know you've inspired quite a lot of young people in that particular business, where often I ask them, do you know Helen? And they say, yes, actually I'm using Helen to help me to do the decor and the chair decoration, the tablecloths and everything. So how are you managing to do all this? Because I know that you are doing a lot of work in the community. The amount of time you spend in the community is very, very well appreciated.
Alhamdulillah, that's music to my ears, because over the years, a lot of people have inspired me in my personal life and business life, and I always think you should pass it on to other people, and especially the next generation. So to hear that people are still using us and inspired and everything is, alhamdulillah, great. And you have to, in terms of balancing time, it's really important to have strong people around you, whether it be your family or friends or team. That's also a very important thing, the company that you keep.
So time capital is what it's all about, isn't it? The amount of time that we give each other, the amount of time we spend for the sake of another in the community. We have a very diverse community in the city of Leicester now. We have 400,000 plus, and we are called the new minority, which has become the majority. Right? So we were a minority once upon a time, but today we are a majority in the city.
Alhamdulillah.
So the ethnic community across all different nationalities of all different castes, colours, creeds are here today in Leicester, and something to be proud of.
Absolutely, and Leicester's always been known for this diversity, and to know that we're still at the heart of that growth, I think, is a heartwarming thing to, feel.
Of course, if you went from the A to Z of our different communities in the city, you'd be quite surprised. We have A for Afghanistan, B for Bangladesh, and right up to Z, where you come to Z for Zimbabwe. You have all of these communities
Alhamdulillah.
in our city. Then you do a drop-down menu where you see what languages they speak.
Yeah.
So imagine, from A to Z, you got 26 different nationalities and more. Plus you have, how many languages you have?
Endless
Languages. And your young son here, Rehan, how old are you?
7.
7. And are you going to become a radio presenter, or are you going to become a radio engineer? We've shown you around.
Yes.
Yes? Which one are you going to be?
The first one.
The presenter.
Presenter. Well, this is it. When I meet these young kids, they're very aspiring, and we give them this experience, it energizes them. So some of the 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds who started here, they're now 16, 17, 18, and they're doing really well.
Fantastic.
They're doing really well in their career paths.
Alhamdulillah. Radio is a good way to start your confidence building, because it's not as intimidating as standing on a stage, but it's still public speaking, but a little bit gentler. So I think it's a good thing for young people to get involved with, especially a local radio station like this. It will help build their confidence and connections for their own future, really.
Of course, Helen, she chose today to bring her son along. She wanted to give him the radio experience.
I did.
And there's no way I could refuse that. And
I
said,
know. He asked if he was going on the radio today, and I had to sadly tell him no, but he's managed to get his way in here, haven't you, Rayan?
Yes.
So he's 7-year-old, and he's a confident lad. He can speak, and he's straight into it, aren't you?
Yes.
And you're going to share this with your friends when you go to school?
Yeah.
What are you going to tell them, Rayan?
I'm probably going to tell them and that I've gone onto the radio and like it you first think it's going to be fun, then like you can't be like too shy, but at the same time it's also a good way to get your confidence up, because then it's not like you're going on like a stage, but like people are like looking at you, but so it's just a bit more easier, really.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you guys, you're listening into Rehan, and he is now encouraging all of you youngsters out there, the mothers and fathers, get your children, let them also have the experience here. And these are going to be our future community leaders.
Alhamdulillah. I always say, actually, like, if you invest into the youth, then you're investing into the future. And like you said to me off air, how you are passionate about involving all parts of the community, the men, the women, the children, so it keeps that strength in our community. It's so nice that you always have children on the radio, because like you said, they're the future and they're the ones that are going to carry this forward for us all. So,
well, one particular young lad comes to mind. He was on the radio yesterday doing fundraising for Islamic Relief, and I was with him last year doing some fundraising, and within a very short space of time, he inspired so many in his family. He has got a huge extended family, and they raised more than £5,000
Wow,
within the
mashallah.
space of half an hour.
yeah, that's amazing.
So
How old was he? Or
He's
is he?
Muhammad Saif is 12 years old,
Oh, wow.
and you sit with him, and he talks like as if he was 17, 18, you know.
Amazing.
So this is what young Rehan has mentioned, that when you come on the radio, it's good for your confidence. And he's only 7. And he's telling us about confidence. I bet you can't spell the word confidence. Do you want to have a go?
Probably can't.
We'll have a go.
I'll help you. Go on. C.
CONDEI.
No, CON DI FNCE. There you are.
FNCD.
Yeah. All right. Come forward. Speak into the mic. So he didn't do too bad, did he?
Yeah, we'll practice that one, shall we?
It was a big word for him.
Yeah.
We put him on the spot there, didn't we?
I always tell him he's always got to try at something, and if he can't do it straight away, we just practice it. So
Well, certainly we're going to be taking him on as a student here and getting more involved at this early age.
Inshallah.
And it's great, forget these young kids, bring them to the studio and let's give them different experiences. Let them come here, press some buttons and get involved.
I always think children have such an innocent and purity about them that actually as adults we can learn a lot from them, because they're a purer form of human than we are.
Of course.
So a lot of our lessons are learnt through children.
And we try very, very hard that each year after radio, we have 11 months to put forward the initiatives that we want to carry through. What we've discussed here during the radio month, we want to now carry them through. Last year, we put the initiative forward that we want to engage with all the schools. And I'm very, very happy and proud of the Judge Meadows School, where we set up the podcast studio for them. We helped them with that. And we arranged podcasts for them. And they were doing a podcast from Judge Meadow, which is in the Evington area, to another school in Uganda.
Oh, wow.
And you could see the difference of confidence levels between the two countries. So when these countries they don't have anything, they don't have facilities, they don't have all the things that Judge Meadow has, then they learn from each other. So that really went down well. We did a podcast together, and Judge Meadow students were on the BBC last week
That's incredible.
for that initiative. So we're spreading that initiative across other schools in the city, doing some mentorship, taking the local businessmen to these schools, and also inviting our local police to engage with us so they can also come along and share the journey.
Yeah, that's fantastic what you say about the police, because I know that we've worked with them, the police, before in bridging the gap between the community and the police force, because there's in later times there's a lot of friction between both sides of the fence. So it's great to incorporate the radio with that and be another bridge.
So often when you are listening in right now, you will see that radio does not just finish during the month of Ramadan. The initiatives discussed at the radio, we carry them on. So this year, our charity that we are supporting with the radio, doing a partnership with the Leicester Children's Hospital to raise awareness about what good work they are doing. They are raising funds now for the spiritual care center. So when you go to hospital, you may be of denomination of being a Muslim, a Hindu, a Christian, a Buddhist, whatever denomination you are, they're setting aside a spiritual care center at the children's hospital. So we're getting together with them.
Is that something that they have thought of themselves, or they've worked with the community, or it's something that the radio station
It's something they put together with demands and requests from the community. What do you want? And so on. So they've responded very positively, and they put forward a team together. They're working with us, and we want to create awareness of that, because hospital is an institution in our community that we all should be supporting. At any one time, any one of us may need to use the hospital.
Absolutely.
And the children's hospital, before you'd have to travel to Birmingham, Nottingham, or even to Great Ormond Street in London.
Wow.
So now they have a state-of-the-art facility here at the Royal Infirmary. So 2 years ago, we were successful in raising up to £275,000 from them, from radio and also from the wider community.
Wow.
And we want to continue with that.
And that benefits all the communities that exist in Leicester, because this is a completely communal space. So I think it's wonderful that the Muslims have contributed such a big part towards that.
That's right. Now, all of you listening in right now, you'll see that today Helen is talking about giving time to the community. And I want you to tell everyone listening in right now more about what exactly you do.
So first of all, I have my own company called iStyle Events, and we specialise in event management. And that specialises more in weddings and personal events. But aside from that, I've teamed up with two gentlemen called Bilal and Nori, and we are now bringing the Halal Food Festival we brought it to Leicester last year, but now we're executing it this year at the Birmingham NEC and also Manchester BEC. These are two of the biggest indoor exhibition centres in the country, and we'll be bringing these events, which I'll get an opportunity to talk about in more detail shortly.
Of course, these are big events, aren't
They're
they?
huge, yeah. It's high pressure. It's very high pressure. We're talking about a footfall of maybe 20,000 at NEC, 15,000 at Manchester, and the logistics of it all are incredibly complex.
And is this over 2 days or 3 days?
Yeah, so one of the events is on the 27th and 28th of May this year at the NEC, and then we have the one at the Bowlers Arena in Manchester, which is the 19th and 20th of August.
Yeah.
And that is over a Saturday and Sunday as well. To be honest with you, because it's such a big operation, it's not enough to do it for one day. We have to do it across 2 days to spread everybody out.
Of course, now we here at the radio, Helen has kindly donated some tickets.
Yes, we have.
For the 28th of May on Sunday.
That is correct, yes.
That's at the NEC.
That's correct.
So I'm going to ask you all to volunteer your time to do something good, and you can have a ticket. Or even if you call in right now, call in and you'll volunteer yourself with a good question, and we can lend you a ticket.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah?
Sounds wonderful.
1 or 2 tickets for you and your partner, or you and the children to go to the NEC.
Children are free. Children are free under a certain age. I think it's under 12. I'd have to double check that for you. And there are family tickets available online. You can get them through our website.
How much is a ticket?
They vary from £5 upwards, depending. You have early bird tickets, and then the closer it gets, the more expensive the tickets get. But there's family tickets available as well, like group tickets. They're usually most popular as well.
So if you want a free ticket, you better call in right now on 0116 4822 or you can even send a text message on our number 077 488 55055. You're listening to Z on Community Connections, and today we have a wonderful guest here, Rehan, young Rehan, who's come along with your mother. Yes?
Yes.
And you've also come with your grandma. She's sitting outside. I saw her. Great. And Helen, now halal is a huge industry now.
This is correct. And I think that we are trying to give this platform for so many Islamic companies and companies that are based on halal products to come forward and be face to face with their direct consumers. Most of our buying habits happen either in the local community or online, but now we're given a platform for unique products to all come together and have a chance to sell directly to their consumers. We try to find as much variety as possible to showcase to people. So inshallah, we've got some really cool things happening.
Yeah, somebody just sent me a text asking a question that, Zed, are you a member of the BCA? Now, I'm going to answer that question. First of all, I don't know what the BCA is. So, do you know what the BCA is?
I'm going to assume it's some sort of
Well, B is normally
business or British.
B is normally for British, isn't it?
Yes.
And he's replied back already. So
Okay.
this is an interactive audience we have today on the radio. The BCA is the British Carbohydrates Association.
Oh, right. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't even know if it exists.
I might need to join that.
I'll need to Google that soon to find out if it really exists.
Yeah.
So I think what is put a smiley face on there, that means he's talking about all these carbohydrates that we are eating during iftar time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there might be some at our Halal Food Festival, but there's a lot of nutritional things as well there for you. So.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been there to the Halal Festival before. There is an absolute lot of choice and variety available there.
Well, see, NEC is the biggest indoor arena in the UK, and in the outdoors, we're doing all the food and desserts and drinks and everything. And indoors is actually lifestyle products, so it's now not just exclusive to food. So we have Fashion Avenue, which is hosted by my company, iStyle Events. We also have an indoor artisan market, which is directed. They're cheaper stands for people who are maybe smaller or startup businesses as well. So there's a massive array of products now for people to come and engage with.
So lifestyle and food.
Yes, lifestyle and food, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So lifestyle, like you're talking about, say, lipsticks and products like that are
so
based on the halal structure.
So for example, we have a company come in and they do black seed gummies. So I don't know if anyone's had black seed oil.
No, I've had black seed oil, but never a black seed gummy.
I mean, black seed oil doesn't taste amazing, but alhamdulillah, it's prescribed for us, in the Quran, and we are. It's got a lot of health benefits. So we've got a company that are doing them in a gummy format, which makes it a little bit exciting for people to come and see these different things.
There you are. Somebody sent a message there. Hello, Zed. My friend is Helen. I better let you read that.
It says, "Hello, Zed. My friend is listening in and is a big fan of yours on the radio. Please give her a shout out. She wants to one day. Have a show with you on the radio, inshallah. Keep up the good work."
Great. She's welcome to come here and do a show with me. If young Rehan can do it, then anyone can do it. Is that right, Rehan?
Yes, of course it is.
Is it easy?
Yeah, but it depends because you need to build up the confidence, but then you first need to see it. You need to see it if it is a good thing or
You have to give it a go, don't you? You have to give it a go.
So this is Rehan's first time, and he's doing okay. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, probably.
You like it?
Yes.
So there you are. So anyone can come and join and have that experience.
At the radio station?
At the radio station, yeah.
I think it's wonderful that you guys have this in such an integral part of the community on Evington Road as well. So it's accessible for people to kind of come in and join you guys.
Well, guys, if we don't invest in our future generation, then we're going to be sad for it.
Absolutely.
We need to give them a lot of time, capital, and they get younger every year, Helen.
Yeah.
They were 12 years old and now they're 7 years old.
I don't know if you've
what's
seen
going on?
that movie Boss Baby, but you might have that happening in a few years. It's like a baby that's in a suit
And they take
running
over,
the show.
take over the running of the community. And that is fantastic, you know.
Rayan, did you want to tell the listeners at home who's coming to the Halal Food Festival for the children?
Oh yeah, so last year we tried to get Omar and Hannah, but this year we have successfully got it.
Yeah, so we've got Omar and Hannah coming. They are two really popular characters that kids cartoon program. Any parents that have young Muslim children will definitely know who these are. So inshallah, that's an exciting thing for people to come see, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That is very exciting. I didn't even know about Omar and Hannah.
Yeah, do you know, actually, it's a great cartoon. Sometimes I get stuck on watching it because it's a lot about Islamic values in the family, what the mother should do, what the father should do, the children, the community. So it's a cartoon, but it's very
With Islamic
engaging.
values.
Yeah, Islamic values.
So Islamic content.
All Islamic content, yeah.
That is absolutely wonderful. That is, I think that is what we need to see more and more of. So amount of time everyone is spending on their social media,
Yeah,
and if it is got an Islamic content, then it's good.
absolutely. And that's why we thought if we have Omar and Hannah there, it's keeping that connection with the young children, that this is what they should be inspired by, and keep our Islamic values at the heart of anything that we're bringing to the children especially.
So I think this is a record for us, 7-year-old. Right.
Oh, are you the youngest, Rayan? How does
So-
that make you feel?
Impressed.
Oh, okay. But you remember, you've always got to speak into the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Now, Rayan, I'm going to ask you to join your mum now, because another guest is going to come and take over your spot, and you're going to share the mic with your mum.
Okay.
You okay with that? Great. So that was wonderful, Rayan. You did really well. I think you are going to be a future radio presenter, Rayan. Are you looking forward to that?
Yes, I am.
And you're going to share this with your class when you go back and tell them, yeah?
Yes, I am. Probably I am.
Have I looked after you well?
Yes.
See, Rayan goes to a school where there isn't that many Muslims, so it's exciting for him to take this back to them, and he'll be able to show them where he's been.
That is wonderful. That is brilliant. I really enjoyed that, Rehan. Really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Actually, now we've got another guest join us today, and everybody knows Salma Ravat. Who in Leicester does not know her? If you don't know Salma Ravat, put your hand up right away and let me know. Everybody knows her.
Oh, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Right. Now, Rehan, do you know why Salma Ravat is so famous? My sister here. Your mum will tell you.
She is a great pillar of our community, and she raises a lot of money for charity and helps people that under her charity it's one roof, isn't it, Salma? She helps a lot of people that are homeless or in need of essential items. I know this because we've worked with Salma's organisation a lot, and they're really one of the best community-based projects in Leicester, I would say.
So today, Salma, it's good to have you back in the studio.
Jazakallah.
It's like a year since we saw you. The time is flying, isn't it?
It is very much
Yeah.
so. Alhamdulillah.
And Salma looks to me like she was flying to get here to the studio today.
Yeah, I was just been dealing with an emergency at one of our houses. You just don't know when something's going to happen. So I had to go right over to the other side of the city and then try and get back. So I do apologize for being late.
So those of you, again, I will remind you, if you don't know about One Roof, Salma, I want you to give a brief on One Roof to our listeners. Not many of them may be aware of what you do and how long One Roof has been established.
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, we founded One Roof Leicester back in 2013 and became a charity in 2014. And we provide accommodation and support to single people who are homeless in Leicester. That includes refugees, asylum seekers, other migrants, so men and women over the age of 18, and they can come from any background, so Muslim, non-Muslim, different faith groups. And so we provide accommodation in shared houses and then lots and lots of intensive support to get them to move on.
So quite a journey, almost 10 years now.
Yeah, nearly, yeah.
Yeah, and now I know that in the beginning when you started this, it was literally you started it yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I started it with like a couple of other people from my front room. It was just an idea of, what can we do to help people who are homeless? We were seeing people on the streets. We knew about refugees, asylum seekers who didn't have anywhere safe to live. And, sometimes the options that were available for them weren't really the right place for them to go. Either it didn't, meet their religious or cultural background needs, or it wasn't, a safe environment to go into. And so we were, thinking about what can we do, and alhamdulillah, we decided to set up One Roof and do the housing project, and that's our main project. We do lots of other bits as well, but the main is giving people a safe home, somewhere that they can come, stay for as long as they need to, and we provide lots of support so that they can then move on.
That is in your group now currently. Do you have a mix of people that are working with you, men, women, different diversities?
Yeah, as in the people that we help in the accommodation.
Both your staff and the people that you help.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So we have a board of trustees, which is very mixed from people from all different backgrounds. Then our staff again is very multicultural, mainly women, but I think it's the type of work that we do, but we do have a man. And then the people that we help, said, it's the end of the financial year. I've started looking at the data about who we've been helping, and I was really surprised that a third of we've helped in the accommodation 60 people this year. 20 of them were Muslims.
20 out of the 60.
Yeah.
So that is a high number.
It's a third, yeah.
A third, which is previously that number was not high at all.
Yeah.
You would go through about 5 persons only in the Muslim community.
When we first started,
That's
it'd be the
right. I
odd one
remember.
or two.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, they were definitely not, it wasn't the norm to have, sometimes we might not even have a Muslim, but now, and they're coming to us really, really destitute, in really bad situations.
And are they men, women?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. We've, said for the first time, we've had a lot of women, and we've still got some, we've had, I think the worst, in the last year, the worst case is probably a refused asylum seeker who was working towards a refugee application, 6 months pregnant with nowhere to live. And we gave her a home, and now she's we just got she's had a baby, and because she was going to have a baby, we couldn't carry on supporting her. We're not insured. We haven't got all the safeguarding in place for children and babies. So we managed to refer her to another project, and she's now got her own home, and she's got a baby as well.
That is wonderful. It is very sad as well to hear that in our community, I always talk to yourself, and I talk to Arif from Help the Homeless, and I say, well, why don't we put something together to prevent this in the first place? How we can all work together with all the agencies, the government including, that we should be preventing homelessness rather than creating a situation where somebody becomes.
Yeah, unfortunately, the reasons people become homeless are so varied that I don't think you can ever fully prevent it. So for instance, if you've got somebody who there's a family breakdown, now that's something that's really hard to prevent, that how do you, unfortunately, couples break up, there might be issues between family and their children. But what we need to know is that if that happens to somebody that we love or somebody that we know, it happens to our brother or our sister or our daughter, our son, that they've got somewhere safe that they can go and they are going to be looked after. And we have, we've had 18, 19-year-old young women who've had a family breakdown. There've been some serious issues around safeguarding, and they've had to leave the family home. And it's, just alhamdulillah that somebody calls and says, we've got a young person needing help. Can you do anything? And alhamdulillah, it might be that just on that day, we've got a vacancy for that young person to come in and live with us until they can be moved on somewhere safe. But sometimes, the reasons people become homeless, is so diverse that I don't think we can fully prevent it, but it's knowing that there's going to be somewhere safe that they can go whilst they're in that predicament. Yeah.
So this is very important for all of you listening in right now, the plight of these homeless people and the people in the city of Leicester who are working hard in this particular sector. And Salma Ravat has been doing this for almost 10 years, and most of the time I've known her, it's all time capital. The amount of time that she puts in to make this project a success. It's no money to be earned out of it, and it's purely time capital, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it. Alhamdulillah, I've got an amazing team. But then when it's a holiday weekend and holidays, obviously staff are away. So then if you've got an emergency, you have to go and deal with it. You've just got to drop whatever you're doing. And that's why, like I said, I was a bit late. But obviously the work that we do, it does cost us a lot of money as well. And alhamdulillah, we do get grants and funds, and we get some, housing benefit. But we do have a lot of people that have got no income at all. They don't get any benefits. So the beds we provide to them are what we call our compassionate beds, and we pay for them. They are paid through from donations that people give to us so that we can help them. And alhamdulillah, everyone that we've ever had on a compassionate bed, we've seen them, secure their residency status, get the help that they need. They now got benefits, they've got their own flats, and we've helped them to move on. But they need, rather than being on the streets where their situation can get worse and worse, by coming into us, we know then that we can help them. But obviously all of this costs a lot of money. And so, yeah, alhamdulillah, donations are always welcome.
So Salma, do you work mostly with volunteers, or are they sort of like an employment basis?
So we have both. We've got like a core team that are employed, and we do pay them a salary because it is quite a lot of work. It is hard work.
I think that's what a lot of people don't realise is that to get good quality people working in community-based projects like yourselves or charities, sometimes you do have to pay people so that it's sustainable for them to be there full time. And I think a lot of people don't realise that that's quite essential.
I think, we have, alhamdulillah, we've got an amazing team of volunteers
Mashallah.
as well that do some absolutely fantastic work for us. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be able to function. But the core work that needs to take place, and especially I would say more than anything, the support work that needs to take place, that you can't rely on volunteers for. You need that stability, you need that continuity, and that's what the support team provide. They provide that one-to-one key work, and they, literally from the minute we get the referral to not just when they've moved on, but even after they've moved on, that one key worker will work with them throughout that time to get them stable and, make their move as successful as possible. And that's really important, yeah.
Essentially, you're like changing and saving lives, because otherwise these people could end up, in really bad situations, and you're saving them from that.
I mean, the average age of somebody who, especially a rough sleeper, for a man is 44 and a woman it's 43. So you can imagine that, you're still young, alhamdulillah. But what, if I'd been homeless, I wouldn't be here. I'm over that age. And I don't think people realise that when somebody becomes homeless, that it's not just the fact that they haven't got a home anymore. It's like, if you just stop, for a few minutes, maybe inshallah stop after we've done the radio show. Just think about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with. How many things has He blessed you with? And then think about, if you didn't have your home, what would you lose as part of that? So it's not just the fact that you don't have four walls, but you lose your family connections. You could have, you could have no food. You've got no warmth. You've got no, support network around you. You've got, and you're in a situation where you just don't even know where that help's going to come from. And
essentially, if you're homeless, that insinuates that you don't have anybody that you can actually rely on to help you, which means you're also an extremely lonely person as well.
Yeah.
And that can then lead to severe depression, and people can turn to, a bad way in life, and you're stopping that, alhamdulillah. You're saving people from that walk of life.
You do know, I mean, if you look at the statistics and the data, the longer somebody is either rough sleeping or homeless, the the quicker their health and mental health will deteriorate. That's a fact. The longer people are rough sleeping and actually on the streets, the quicker they will start getting into drugs and alcohol as well. So the quicker you can get people indoors, the quicker you can get them moved on, because you're not then battling with all the addiction problems. And I want, as listeners to know that when I'm talking about all these different addictions and all the mental health and the health issues, I'm not talking about non-Muslims here. I'm talking about Muslims as well. We've seen, our brothers and sisters, mainly I'd say more brothers and sisters, who have become alcohol dependent, they've become drug dependent, they've got mental health issues. We've got women who've got mental health and health issues. And, I honestly, you listen to so many, like, alhamdulillah, we do a lot more praying, we listen to a lot more talks, we engage with a lot more, of the deen during the month of Ramadan. And, we learn so much about the day of Qiyamah, and we learn about, what are we going to have to answer for? And I always think to myself, what am I going to answer for? And I don't want to have to answer for the people that's been on the street that I could have helped and have avoided them getting into drug and alcohol addictions or any other issues. So, it's about what are we doing for our community? Because, sorry, I'm taking up so much time, but the practice of the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, and even after that Taibeen, it was that you helped your local community first. You helped the people in your locality before you helped anyone else. And I was reading a really interesting, and I've totally forgotten the Sahaba's name, but he talked about zakat, and he was saying that, and there was a time when the people in, they kept the zakat for their local community. They didn't send it back to Medina. So when obviously Islam spread, wherever they were, they kept the zakat for their community, and
so
it only went to Medina after they'd given it out. And when they had no one else to give to, that's when that zakat was sent anywhere else.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question you'll know better than me. If one of the listeners wants to make a donation to One Roof, the organization that you are spearheading, would that donation be zakat eligible?
So we can only take zakat for our Muslim residents that are eligible for zakat. And alhamdulillah, I'd say most of our residents are eligible for zakat because they don't have the income. So some of them have no income at all. Some have a little bit, but it's below the zakat sort of limit. Yeah.
I see.
So people can give zakat. And what we do is we only take the amount of zakat. So every year we'll only take the amount of zakat we need for the people that we're helping right then and there. So I don't want excess zakat because I don't want to answer for excess zakat.
It's a big responsibility, isn't it? I've been there, and it's a big responsibility
exactly.
when you've got.
So I don't want to
zakat money.
accumulate loads of zakat and then it's sitting in the bank and not doing anything. I want zakat that I know I can use today or tomorrow or in the next couple of months to help the people that need it. And the zakat we take is only to help those individuals. It's not to pay staff costs, it's not to pay for other it is just about what do they need. So is it towards helping to pay their bills? Is it towards move on to get them furniture, carpets? Is it rent deposit? What do we need that money for?
But you see, those simple necessities that you're talking about, carpet or warmth in their home, these are things that just, what they do is they're not just giving people material things, they're giving people hope. And as long as somebody's got hope, they will stay on the righteous path and they can, inshallah, stay in Islam. But sometimes when people lose all hope, there's always that risk that they could lose Islam. So you're kind of keeping that deen in them, inshallah.
So. I mean, we've got one brother, I'm obviously not sharing names, so I can say he is Muslim, but because he's, we said to him, you are eligible for zakat because of your circumstances. You are eligible for zakat that can help you. But he's got a few addiction issues, and he says, right now, because of my until I don't solve these, I don't want to take anybody's money. I don't feel, even though I know I'm a Muslim, I'm born Muslim, I don't feel as though I'm a Muslim at the moment because of these issues. And alhamdulillah, so for that reason, we've said, okay, we won't take zakat for you. We won't ask for zakat for you because you're in that predicament. But he wants to.
There is a stigma around addiction that people think that people that are addicted to something then become almost worthless. But when someone's addicted, they can't help it. That's the whole reason it's called addiction. And they are probably the people that need the most support because they actually cannot help what it is that they're going towards. And you're obviously playing a part in keeping those people grounded.
We get expert help for every individual that needs it. So it won't be that we'll try and do it ourselves, because we can't do everything. So, we do get people who go into detox and rehab, and we work with different agencies locally and nationally to get people the support that they need. Because, like I said, people come to us with so many different issues. It's like, okay, what can we do? What do other people need to do to help them? But we make sure that we have like almost a package of care for them so that they can move on.
So Salma, you can see in the studio right opposite you, young Rehan. Now that is what we call sustainability. So I want you also to think about that, because I've seen you work very hard for the last over 10 years. So you need to also, all of you listening in now, you need to get your young team, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, get them engaged with Salma so that she can teach them about the essence of what she's been talking about, that it's a duty of all of us Muslims to come involved and to take care of the needy in the city.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways. I mean, obviously, we can only have volunteers over the age of 18, but there are also different ways people can get involved. So inshallah, on this Saturday, we've got our annual Ramadan food collection happening at Coleman Lodge. And so again, we've got people who'll come along and they'll go shopping with their children and they'll buy food and they'll come along, and some of those young people will volunteer. And it's a really good way for them to understand why they're collecting the food and why people locally need that food and why there's food poverty in our city.
So in our community, we need to know about each other. What is One Roof doing? What is Help the Homeless doing? Engage them with all the other organizations in the community. There's a lot of people who are doing a lot of time capital in the community. And for them all to know about each other is very, very essential. Yeah. And then you draw on each other. You pick that phone up. You call a friend who knows a friend. And this is how we build a stronger community. Yeah. A close-knitted community whereby caste, color, creed, culture, tradition, religion, all of that is put to one side and the common humanity is put on the table. So if Muslims in our city have got to take the lead on the issues of common humanity. Yeah. Otherwise, we're all going to fall prey to division. So it's very important for all of you listening in right now to be aware. That's all I'm asking. Be aware of who is who in the community, what work are they doing, and if you can help, come on board, take part. Be part of the solution. Otherwise, you'll remain part of the problem. It's very easy to sit there and criticize somebody else who's doing all the work and sit on that armchair. And it's very easy to say things like that. Come, sit on the table, get involved, and be part of the journey. So I've been working with these organizations for a long time, and I've seen they've worked hard and sacrificed. They have sacrificed their time. Salma, in your family, you have family commitments. You have your iftar to cook. You have the children to look after. You have to do the school runs. You have to do all of that. And then you fit all these activities into your daily agenda. That phone never stops ringing, does it?
Alhamdulillah.
How do you fit everything in?
You know what? Sometimes you think to yourself, how? But alhamdulillah, this is all through the mercy and the kindness and of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you can't do it without him, without his help and his guidance. How can you be here doing what you do? Definitely. Because he's the one that gives the barakah in your life. And it's been my children have grown up now. I haven't got little ones. I don't have to worry about school runs. It's more the university runs now. But through this work, they've learned about humanity. They've learned about how to help people and support people. And alhamdulillah, when one of them comes to me and says, Mum, I'm going to be helping at, the local night shelter, or I've got, a job at the local food bank. It's just so, alhamdulillah, heartwarming to know that, at least some things influence them positively in what we've done. But no, it's all through Allah. He gives you barakah. When you're doing something that he's happy with, he will fill your life with barakah, definitely.
Helen, I think Salma deserves a Halal Food Festival invite.
I think absolutely, Salma.
I think she deserves
With-
2 tickets.
Inshallah, definitely. We've got some tickets here
So
today.
I'm going to let you present her with 2 tickets out of this book.
That's wonderful.
So I'm going to give away my book.
Okay,
You can
so we're
take 2
gonna-
tickets out and give to Salma. What do you think, Rehan? Is that a good idea? We give her 2 tickets to attend the Halal Food Festival on the 28th of
Absolutely.
May, which is not far away. So you're about 6 to 8 weeks away for the Halal Food Festival. And you take a day out on Sunday, have a little walk around, Salma. You deserve it.
Inshallah.
You
Salma,
deserve it.
It's not just food, it's all lifestyle products as well. There's
Can't
like
wait.
unique random things that suit our Islamic lifestyle. So inshallah, it'll be
Inshallah,
it's
yeah.
just a fun day out. There's a fun fair there. Omar and Hannah are there if you know who they are.
I do, because inshallah, make dua one day grandchildren, but
Inshallah.
I've got babies in the family,
Yeah.
so I know.
You see
I
it,
know,
you see
yeah,
it around,
yeah,
inshallah.
alhamdulillah,
I
yeah.
feel a little bit let out here because I was the only one who doesn't know Omar and Hannah. So after this program, Rehan, maybe you and I can sit down and you can tell me a little bit about Omar and Hannah, yeah? You can do that?
We put it on for your baby
Okay.
sister, don't we?
Go on the mic so they can hear you. So you got a baby sister as well. So he's only 7 years old and he's joined us here today.
Inshallah.
And he nearly got the word confidence. He spelled it nearly right. He wasn't far away, were you?
Yes.
So
You like spellings, but you like the challenge of learning new ones as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
yeah, so he's, this is we're investing in the future, here, Salma.
It's really important that, alhamdulillah, the more you educate your young children, the more you tell them about the realities of life, about some of the difficulties people are going through. That's how they develop that compassion.
So
and that
while you
care.
were rushing to get here, Salma, Rehan was just telling her, she missed out on that. Just quickly tell her about, how you have to be confident. Just tell her.
So, and when you're on stage, people are watching you, and when you're on the radio, it's probably 5 or 10 people are watching you, but it's a good way to build up your confidence, really.
How's that, Salma?
Alhamdulillah, it's very true. It's a really good way.
He's done better than you and I
He's
did when
going
we
to
first
be-
came on the radio.
He's going to be the radio presenter
Of the
the
future.
When we're gone, when we're gone, here you go. That's the next generation.
You know what, Salma?
Exactly.
We should afterwards get together and
Yeah.
start creating this new team.
I think we do.
Yeah, we need
definitely.
with a new team. Now we're nearly coming to an end here, right? Today we've had a wonderful little program with young Rehan, with Helen from iStyle, who's been talking to you about the Halal Food Festival on the 28th of May. And we've met once again the one and only Salma Ravat from the One Roof charity. So, brothers and sisters, you have a great iftar today, and don't forget us in your du'as, and make dua for everyone in the community, in the Ummah, and our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Al-Aqsa. Don't forget them. Jazakallah khair.